Week ringing in a new year. Sunday is New Year's Day. Millions gather at Times Square and around the globe to take part in New Year's celebrations. If you're feeling hungover after the holidays, well, you're not alone. Sunday is National Hangover Day. Why not toast to the new year with a spicy cocktail? The first is also National Bloody Mary Day. For the brave at heart, how about the polar bear plunge? The January 1st tradition takes place around the nation. Scores of people dress in their best swimwear or fun costume and take a dip in the icy cold water. Die-hard fans say the plunge is a special ritual to ring in the new year. Another New Year's tradition taking place Monday, the 128th annual Rose Parade in Pasadena, California. Hundreds of volunteers working to get dozens of parade floats in perfect order for the century-old Festival of Flowers, music, and college football. The 103rd annual Rose Bowl game follows the parade. On Wednesday, President Obama will be honored during a farewell ceremony at a military base in Virginia. Defense Secretary Ash Carter, Marine General Joseph F. Dunford, Jr., and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff will host the Armed Forces full honor review. On Saturday, hit the courts for Harlem Globetrotters Day. These talented basketball players travel the world showing off their incredible skills for audiences big and small. That's a look at the week ahead. I'm Patricia Stark, Fox News.
All right, some of you do it, some of you don't. During the break, tweet me if you've picked a New Year's resolution. I want to know what it is. Apparently, picking one could be a problem. We're talking about that when we come back.
We started off with some problematic weather this morning with some showers and rain. Right now, it's cloudy. The lowering of the clouds is going to be the issue of the next 12 hours. And the details coming up in the Fox Red forecast.
That was a live look at New Year's in Times Square. People waiting for it. We were just talking about whether you would do New Year's Eve in Times Square. Tweet me that too, whether you would stand out there for the whole 6 hours, whatever you have to wait. It's quite a lot. But hey, new year, new you, right? No? Maybe a little resolution? Look, if you didn't pick a resolution, then this story can justify why. It turns out you can make yourself feel depressed with a resolution. Fox's Sylvia Perez explains.
Auld Lang Syne, the official song that traditionally rings in the new year, but it can also bring with it feelings of sadness. Doctors say for many people, New Year's celebrations are a time for reflection, good or bad.
And people think about where they've gone in life, what they've done and what they have not done. And I think there's a lot, it's sort of a melancholic feeling. You know, there's mixed feelings.
Those mixed feelings can come as a result of a sense of loss, regret, or putting too much pressure on ourselves with those New Year's resolutions.
Maybe hit the gym more often.
I like to have new habits that are even better than the last ones.
But just to get healthy, you know, grow spiritually. They usually work out. The one about healthy, not so much, but that's why we're trying to get this year.
Experts say resolutions can sometimes make us focus on our shortcomings. The top 3 resolutions: losing weight, getting organized, spending less money, and saving more. But the majority of people who make those resolutions won't be able to keep them. Psychiatrist Dr. Mark Ziffra says not to worry. You can increase your odds for the next year by developing a realistic plan.
So you want to do something that is very modest at the beginning and then build upon the small successes you make. And if you can set a modest goal for yourself that's pretty achievable, you'll feel good about yourself and you'll want to build upon it.
Other tips: if you tend to suffer mild to moderate depression, stay away from the alcohol. It could only make you feel worse. Try to stay positive. Write down a list of at least 5 good things that have happened to you this year. Appreciate the present, meaning think about the good people in your life who care for you. And finally, if you're sitting home on New Year's Eve and in bed before midnight, know you are not alone. An estimated 22% of Americans will be fast asleep before the clock strikes midnight. Sylvia Perez, Fox News.
Coming up, what happens when one of Dr. Jim's weather lab experiments goes oh so wonderfully wrong? Stick around and you will not only see, but you will find out. 5:42, Fox 26 is your Gulf Coast Weather Authority. Chief Meteorologist Dr. Jim Siebert joins us now with the Fox Red forecast. And we were talking about the rain this morning. That really came, in some areas, it really came down. And with the fog, it's very ominous.
You know, it was. And I was out early this morning at soccer games in the rainfall. And little point here, you don't want to be a meteorologist at a soccer game with other people when it's raining.
Are you just bearer of bad news,
Put
Debbie
a big
Downer?
target on me and just throw stuff at me the entire time. But no, it's all right though. I get it. I like it. But then when I have my Fox 26 umbrella, then I really just open it up for fun. Okay, let's talk about what's going on right now. We've got a lot of cloud cover, not so much rain though. At least for the moment. Now things are going to probably change a little bit more by tomorrow night, but I think the clouds are really going to be the biggest part of our forecast over the next 24 hours or so. Let's take a look at the temperatures for the last 12 hours. Generally 60s. We woke up, we were in the 60s. We were still in the 60s this afternoon, almost 70 degrees. A couple of places made it to 70, and that is mild for this time of year. So it's mild, muggy. Yeah, the humidity is thick for this time of year. Rainfall for the last 24 hours. Closer to the coast, the better rain chances you had, and that's also the best chances for the fog later on tonight because the atmosphere, the ground, it's all saturated. Just got to cool the temperatures a little bit, and that's when we'll see that chance for fog. Right now, temperatures in the 60s and still in the 70s. We still got 70s, Angleton, Pearland, 67 for Galveston, 71 up there at College Station. As we look at the bigger picture across the state, there goes the heavy rainfall from today. We do have this little area of low pressure out here to the west. That's going to bring some temperatures, cooler, slightly cooler temperatures, possibly around Angleton, or I should say Amarillo, where they're in the 40s. But most of the state under mild conditions, lots of clouds, just kind of waiting for that next storm system to kind of pile in here. As you take a close look with the Fox Red Storm Seeker radar, you can see a line of showers out there into the Gulf. And so that rainfall has pushed away, but the humidity just stays in place. And because of that, we're going to see, again, more humidity, more clouds, just kind of dreary as we start 2017, to be honest with you. And then things will change by Monday morning early. Big showers off to the eastern part of the country, cold air into the middle, and we're just kind of right now in the middle of things here in the Houston area. So let's look ahead. As we go on into Sunday, maybe a sprinkle here or there. Out in the Gulf, though, Sunday will be rainy in the Gulf, not on shore. But by early Monday morning, an area of low pressure slides up and gets closer to us. By 7 a.m., as people, well, even though it's a holiday still on Monday, we're going to see quite a few showers, maybe some strong storms. We'll take a better look at the chances for severe weather tomorrow as we get closer to that, and then it'll all push out quickly. Temperatures tonight in the 50s and 60s in our neck of the woods, but it's expected to freeze up around Amarillo. Look at that, 70s? 70s this time of year? That is very, very warm. And in the 7-day forecast, well, what are we looking at? 70s for Monday. But then another shot of cold air gets here by about Wednesday. So up and down as we start 2017.
Dr. Jim, you know we love you, right?
Oh, here we go.
And you know we love your weather labs, right?
And I love doing them.
And we know they're fun and funny, but apparently, and I've been waiting all week for this, they get downright hilarious when he lets us leak some of the bloopers.
This is a behind-the-scenes look of how things really are in my life. In today's Weather Lab, we're going to look at the power of air pressure and how a difference in temperature can actually make the wind, and I'll show you how powerful it is. To do that, we are going to use some hard-boiled eggs. In fact, we only need one of them. We need a bottle that has a wide enough mouth so that I can put an egg on it, but the egg doesn't go through, and then matches. And what we're going to do is heat the air inside the jar, and we'll see what happens. And by the way, the good thing about using hard-boiled eggs is if it doesn't go well for the experiment, you can always eat the experiment afterwards, which is not a bad idea. So we light the match. Oh! Oh! Let's do it again. So we light the match. It's harder than it looks, apparently.
Okay, let's try it again.
So I light the match, drop it in, put the egg on, and watch what happens. No, it's not working. My match didn't do very good. I'm going to use 2 matches for this experiment. So we light the matches. It won't work. Don't play with matches. Light the matches. You see why my wife won't let me do this at home? Why isn't it working? We're going to use 3 matches. What we're going to do is light the matches, put them inside the jar, and then we add. Sometimes this experiment is more explosive, and other times it takes a little longer for the egg to get pulled into the jar. But the process is the same. As we heated the air in the jar, it changed the air pressure and thus pushed the egg into our jar. That's today's Weather Lab, and don't forget, you can see all my Weather Labs on my Facebook page at Dr. Jim Fox 26. It worked.